Hey everybody, and welcome to your Lab 7 for Physics 1106 introduction video. Okay, so this week we're doing our electronics for the very first time. This is circuits, electric circuits, your introduction to Ohm's law, and we do need a fair amount of things from the lab kit. So let's go through that. Okay, first of all, you need your multimeter. This is called a digital multimeter, okay? Now, I want you to notice that there is a quiz on how to use that multimeter. This has a video in it. And so before you start the lab, please do go through this and take the quiz. It is due before the lab is due. So hopefully you'll do that. And it's really important. There's a few things you really need to know before you are able to really use this. Okay, so you have your multimeter. We have some alligator clip wires and a baggie. This is how you're going to connect different pieces of the circuit. You have some battery holders, these called AA batteries, and you can clip them in and out of the circuit using these wires. There's two of those, by the way, okay? And then we have some light bulbs that should be wrapped up in a little thing of bubble wrap with some light bulb holders. And then you also have this piece of paper. And this piece of paper has a bunch of circuit components taped onto it. It's like resistors. And I know it's hard to see here, but let's see if I can, yeah, or it's not working too well with my virtual background. Okay, so there's some resistors, there's a capacitor, there's various things, and they're labeled on this piece of paper, okay? So hopefully when you opened your lab kit, you weren't tossing this piece of paper away. All right, so you have a bunch of things you're gonna need. Let's take a look at the manual. All right, I'm scrolling back up. All right, so again, now if your class has not gotten to circuits, I would go and read up on that in your book, and you can look anywhere or watch some YouTube videos about it. Okay. All right. So Ohm's law tells us that the resistance of a circuit element, like for instance, there are resistors here, right? Times the current going through that element is equal to its voltage. Now, this is not always true for some elements. For some elements, it's not true. They are not what we call ohmic. They don't follow Ohm's law. So it's not true for everything, but it will be for the things we're going to be doing in this lab. Okay, so the first thing you're going to be doing is that you're going to be building some circuits. And here's some pictures. Now, these are just examples. So there's very detailed instructions on how to build the circuits that you need to build in here and what to measure. Okay. Now it's important, again, before you even start this part, that you know how to use the multimeter, because to do any measurements, we need the multimeter. And one really important thing is that when you measure voltage, you have to do one thing with the multimeter. Yeah, and when you measure current, you have to do a whole different thing. And that's what that whole, well, there's a bunch of that how to use a multimeter video that goes over that. Okay, so make sure you understand that. And there's a big big red text here saying, be careful with your multimeter. Okay, when you're trying to measure current, right? You can't put things what we call in parallel with the circuit. Okay, you'll understand that as you watch that video. It's not going to blow up or anything. It just could ruin your multimeter, and then you don't have it for the rest of the lab. Okay, so be careful, pay special attention to that quiz. All right, I think this is a pretty good self-explanatory lab. So I hope that you don't have any trouble with it, but please feel free to email me, text me, etc. If you do have some trouble. So good luck.